podcast. I'm Greg.
And I'm Eric.
And happy Tuesday? Monday? What's today?
Today's Tuesday for
Today's
us right
Tuesday.
now.
Happy Tuesday. And a very hot Tuesday.
Jesus Lord, it's like, is it like 99? It's like, feels like the thermometer's going to bust at the top.
So every day I get the notification that the heat advisory has been extended another day. Like it's always like a 24-hour push out. And dude, like I can't even go out to like cut the grass without feeling I'm going to die. You do anything outside, it's way too fucking hot.
I now only want to see a meme where there's a thermometer saying, I'm going to bust.
Or the, like, what is it? I'm going to crumb.
It's a piece of toast.
But, I mean, like, okay, so you are a runner. So how
Yeah,
has
dude.
that impacted you now?
I
mean,
like running in the heat. I enjoy it, and I say if it's almost like resistance training. If I can run while it's like hot out like this, then I can run in anything. It's almost like wearing a weighted suit. But I can always, no matter how fit I am or unfit I am, which is usually the case now, I can always run 3 miles. Boom, just knock 3 out.
no matter what.
Yeah, right. No matter what, if I'm hungover, if I'm just not feeling well, if I just ate, if I'm drunk,
Yep.
3 miles. Not in weather like this. Can't do it.
I don't
By the
think
way,
it's safe
I
to.
No, it's not safe to. And I ran 2 in one of these hot days that
Yeah.
happened pretty recently. Didn't feel good at all. But can I say I do love doing a nice drunk run,
So,
like just having a few beers, and then boom, let me head on out for a run. I feel fucking magical, like I'm floating down the road.
I don't think I've ever. So I feel like what ends up happening for me is we will run a 5K. Like you'll train for it, I won't. And then you'll come over the night before. We'll get pissed, and then
Yep.
the next morning be hungover as fuck. Well, I will. You'll be perfectly fucking fine. And then try to run, and like that is the closest to being drunk that I think I've ever done a run. Like I don't like exercising while.
Well, intoxicated.
I feel, well, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not as well. I mainly just ride the Peloton, but you know,
What's that guy's name?
Richard
no.
Simmons.
No, not Richard Simmons. Shit, not Walton Goggins. Walton Goggins is the guy from Justified and Vice
Justified,
Principals.
Fallout, and also can I throw in there R.I.P. Richard Simmons?
Sure, yeah.
You know.
When did he die?
A couple days ago.
Oh fuck.
He wasn't.
Oh,
but
shit.
he wasn't. It was wild because he wasn't that old. He was like in his early 70s. I would just always assume the dude was like 80 to 40 fucking years ago.
Yeah, because he was old
know?
when we were before we were born. He was old.
Do you remember, like, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, he slapped the shit out of somebody for saying, like, what was it? Like, let's work out, like, or like, let's exercise like it's the 80s. And he just went up and slapped her.
That's crazy.
Like, slapped the shit out of her.
My life is not affected by that at all, though. Well,
Same. You know, it was one of those things where it was
feels
like,
bad.
oh,
I guess
like,
he was probably
yeah.
a pop culture staple, but
Yep.
was he the one that wore the leg warmers?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had all the very
All right.
vibrant suits.
Yeah.
Shannon
Flamboyant.
Doherty also
Yeah.
died. 90210.
Okay. I also never watched that.
I didn't either, but I'm an idiot. So I saw Kevin Smith posting a lot of stuff about her. I guess was she in Mallrats
Or dog.
or Dogma?
Probably.
Right?
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
Those being his most diverse movies, because if it wasn't that, then it was Jay or Silent Bob.
or with Chasing Amy. Well, Chasing Amy was J Lo.
No, that was just...
It was
okay.
J Lo and Ben Affleck and George Carlin.
I got to go back and watch. I like Kevin
Right?
Smith.
Yeah.
I like Kevin
Me too.
Smith, but I haven't seen like enough of his movies enough times.
And I wouldn't
but-
say like I'm like a super Kevin Smith guy where like I love Jane Silent, but like I do like he's written how many comic books like I couldn't fucking tell you,
does
you
he?
know?
Yeah. He tries to do
But
a
like
lot.
he does,
do
a lot. Yeah, he does a lot.
You know who else we lost? Trump's ear.
Yeah. I know. That's fucking wild.
It is wild for
Did
that to
you-
happen, because that's the first assassination attempt I ever remember seeing.
Yeah. Did you see that Tenacious D had to cancel their tour? So I guess I don't know if it was last night or 2 nights ago. They were playing a show, and I guess it was Kyle Gass's birthday. And so I guess they brought a cake or a cupcake or whatever, and they said, hey, make a wish. And he was like, that the person doesn't miss Trump next time. I know. And I was like, dude, that is fucked. Like and so Jack Black came out today and was like, Tenacious D's tour is canceled indefinitely. We're done, essentially. Well, and I feel like you kind of are going to have to separate yourself from that. Like, no matter who you support politically, right? Like assassination, that's fucked. And like, that's a really shitty, it's a shitty thing, but it's also like something you don't go to a concert to really want to hear about, especially a concert is a melting pot. It's not a political
campaign.
Thing, especially like Tenacious D, man. Like I feel like they're the most. And I think that's what, I don't know if it was like Jack Black being like, that's fucked, or like, I have to do this because.
Well, then you open yourself up to fucking death threats from the other side.
Yeah, like it was just, it was a dumb thing.
No matter who you are, as soon as you condone the assassination of a political leader, you open a fucking whole fucking, you open up Pandora's box politically, because then nothing's off the table. Oh, I don't like you. It seems like I could just murder the leader, your leader, and like.
And like that's what's so fucking just. I think people like I see a lot of I've been seeing a lot of people on Facebook just like, oh, if it wasn't like if it wasn't Trump and that happened to Biden, then the conversation would be different or whatever. And you know what, if you were a decent person, I don't think it would be, like
right.
No matter who, like whoever.
There's people on both sides. There's extreme people on both sides saying like, oh darn. Oh, that would be on both sides saying that.
Yeah.
So, it's fucked. It's fucked either way. You can't really.
It is fucked. Yep. And that's shit. The first assassination attempt, I feel like in at least my life there was that time that person threw a shoe at George Bush, but I don't think that is as bad as getting fucking shot in the ear.
No,
so
I wouldn't say so. But that's straight disrespectful, though, isn't it? Wasn't that what it was meant to be? Just disrespectful.
What, the shoe or the
throwing a shoe or the shot?
And then George Bush just dodged it. Dude, like the video, like he ducks out of the way and it just like goes right by him. But I'll tell you what I did this weekend.
Go ahead.
So we went to a concert for Danny Go. I have the little plushie behind me.
So I don't know who Danny Go is.
So you don't know who Danny Go is? Yes.
Can you give me a rundown?
So, Danny Go, we were introduced to Danny Go, I think like a year ago, and Isla kept singing this song every night, and I actually have a recording of her doing it, and we didn't know what the fuck it was, so I sat there for hours trying to like get the lyrics she was saying, and then have Google transcribe it. So it links us to Danny Go, and so then she was a little over 3, so then she started to get more and more into him. So essentially what Danny Go is think like Miss Rachel and like, I don't know, the Wiggles kind of combined in a way where it's like music for kids, but it encourages like movement and exercise. And the songs are very catchy. Out of all of the like children groups, I think Danny Go puts out a lot of bangers. And, I think that he's really smart in that regard because like I think he kind of has surrounded his people and his team that like are all of his friends are kind of included, and like they're all like musicians and market. So it's actually really, really smart. But so we drove and none of the shows were close to us in Delaware, right? Mm-hmm. So the closest one was in Tysons, Virginia. So it was about 2 hours from here.
Tysons, okay.
Never been. I passed the exit before going down to Florida. But it was a 2-hour drive. It's outside of D.C. So we get there, though, and this area is like, think of like Wilmington, but really nice and really small.
Wilmington, but nice. All right.
And there were like fences around it. So there were giant like skyscrapers almost. But then there was nothing else kind of there. It was like this own little city thing. So then we went, it was called I think the Capital One Hall, and it was hooked to this little brewery, which food was fantastic. We stopped there for lunch, but that was the only place to eat. So you either eat there or you go in and you buy popcorn. I think that was the only like food item they were selling. Or actually, they were selling food at the theater. So it was a theater show,
not a stadium.
It was a theater show, and it looks like
Danny
they do a
Go
lot.
Ain't selling out the stadiums yet.
Not yet, but I feel like, dude, like every show sold out within minutes. I mean,
Hmm.
like, and they, theaters are smaller, and this theater was like, I think one, two, I think it was like three levels, and we were on this like the first balcony, but all the way in the back, which is fine because in those venues you can kind of see no matter where you
First
are.
balcony better than basement.
Yeah,
Just shove you
true.
down there and just let you listen to the show.
Just listen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, so we get there and we're sitting down, and then so the show started at 5. It was, I think, like 80 minutes with a 15-minute intermission. So the show starts, and Danny Go is really big on, like, there are a lot of like songs that use like glow sticks, and so everyone, all the kids had their glow sticks and their
Is it
T-shirts and their Danny Go
$10,
plushies.
$15 glow
They
stick?
were, the glow sticks actually were $10, which isn't ridiculous. The merch wasn't. It was concert price. So like the T-shirts were, I think, $30, which is what you pay. And now, I it used to really bug me, but now that we've talked to enough people to know how, like, most of the money is made through merch to kind of support the tour, and now that we also sell shirts,
What a great
I
time to promote our T-shirt
yeah,
sales.
so we have shirts also, but I understand. So when you're paying that cost for a T-shirt, like, that's really not that outrageous. It is, but it's not,
Yeah, well,
But
you know what it
anyways,
goes to.
you know what it goes to, and so they came out, and there are 5 of them, right? So it's Danny Go, and it's Danny Go and or Danny, and then his wife, and then there's this dude who wears a mask, and then there's like a scientist, and then there's there's just like a drummer, right? And so
Say a scientist?
yeah, he wears like a lab coat, and
Okay.
Pap is his name.
All
But
right.
but anyway, so they came out, and it was very much just like, hey, here are 3 screens. The music's playing, and they're just kind of doing the choreography to the songs, and then in between each line, like, he would talk to the crowd. You got to give it to him, though.
Let's
Like,
go, everybody.
yeah, I
Pump
mean,
those arms.
but I'll tell you what, man. It was. I don't think I don't have the stamina or the endurance to be on stage for over an hour running around like that. But also,
No, I don't.
so, and we kind of talked about this, a little while ago, but it reminded me the being. I sat the whole show, and so I was just sitting in the back. I
You're
was
just like this.
No, I wasn't that guy. I wasn't that guy. And you know what? There surprisingly weren't that many people there that were like super like annoyed to be there. And I feel like that isn't the case for a lot. Like, I feel like some of those other shows, it's like, ugh. But I'll tell you. So they came out and they were doing their thing, and it reminded me of, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago when I went and I saw Dashboard, and I wasn't like super pumped, not because I don't really like Dashboard, but just because, like, I didn't know what kind of show it was going to be. But when they came on, it all you could really hear was almost like the crowd featuring Dashboard. Like, you couldn't really hear the band because everyone was singing so loud, so
You
loudly.
previously said that that's your favorite
I
concert
love
that
so
you went to.
It is.
Yeah.
And I liked it just because, like, I love live music when the crowd drowns out the band from singing. I think it's awesome because you don't get that anywhere else.
We
But
talked about this before, where when it sounds different than it does from a studio recording, like,
Amazing.
That's best.
Love it. Because you can listen to the album, and the album version doesn't change. You listen to it 20 times. Every time is the same thing. Live, 20 different versions. I guarantee you it's not going to sound the same, as like yesterday as it did today.
Ever.
But
Yeah.
it was the same thing, dude. Like, it was just kids drowning out Danny Go's music, and it's one of those things where, like, it's cool because I feel like growing up, like, I went to concerts, but I didn't really get to experience that as a kid, right? Like, I think we had the Wiggles and like Sesame Street, but like, I didn't listen to the Wiggles. I never went to a Wiggles concert. Like, I never went and I saw Raffi live, like, but this, to kind of be in that situation, it's cool to see. So kudos to them for putting that show on. Like, it was a good time, and
Danny goes like a rock star.
Danny Goes like a rock star. I had to get the tickets on StubHub
Damn.
because they sold out. Like, I mean, like that. But it was one of those things where Isla, like, the whole time was just rocking out, singing all the songs, and everyone just had a good time. It was cool. I would go and see him again. I think it's one of those things though where the next tour is going to be bigger. Like I don't think you're going to get the small, and that's why I really also want it to go. Like I always kick myself for not going and seeing a band or an act or a group or whatever, like when they're starting out in a small arena, because then the next time you catch them,
You know what I'm about to say? You know who we need to go see this
August
December?
Burns Red.
August Burns Red.
I really want to. We talk about it every year, literally every year.
Let's try to get the ABR guys
Sure.
on. If we can get them on here,
They're local. I mean, like
they are
local-ish.
They're like what, an hour or two up in Pennsylvania.
And I mean, I've seen August Burns Red a lot, and they're awesome live. But I think that Christmas show would be dope.
You've seen them live? I have not been. Yeah. I haven't seen them.
I saw them here in Delaware. I used to see them at the Grange.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
All roads lead back to the Harmony Grange.
All roads, lead back to the Harmony Grange. And I'll tell you what, man. Like it's one of the thing is though with like kind of like a heavier. Like I really have to be in the mood, because you're not like singing along, really. You know, there's always that one dude that's just super fucking jacked and big that knows all the words and like yokes you by the shirt and shit. You know, But I go to that type of concert and you fold your arms.
That's when you just go like this.
Yep, that's when you're that guy. You know, but other than that, like I don't know. I'm not like I have to really be in the mood. But if we go once a year and kind of make that our annual thing, that's dope.
Let's do it. We'll do it this year.
Yeah,
that sounds like fun.
I'm here for it because other than that, well, actually, in terms of concerts, dude, I have a lot of concerts coming up next month. But you're going to see Tiesto in a couple weeks.
I am. He's gonna be in AC. I guess that's probably next Saturday. Yeah.
So is that your annual thing?
We do that almost every year. It's at the H2O Day Club or something. It's a
AC.
A pool. Yeah, it's like a pool concert. So you wear your bathing suit into the concert.
Yeah.
And they play music and you just sit in other people's water, like pool piss, and
because everyone's pissing, right?
Everybody's pissing,
but no shitting.
Like, no shitting in the no, not in the pool. They bring like I remember them carrying like these big like trays. Almost imagine like a king or an emperor being carried by 4 people with like the things over their shoulders. They carry things like big bottles and girls carrying the bottles, and it's for bottle service at the cabanas.
Do they have the little cardboard with the cotton candies in it, like at a baseball game?
No. But yeah, it's that show's a good time, and we actually just got free tickets to somebody else. They mailed us tickets in the mail for a concert the very next morning. I forget who it was.
At the same place,
like one good song. Yeah. They know that we're going to be there, but I don't
so they're
think
like, hey,
stay.
Here, check us out.
Stay longer. Stay for a little bit longer. Come gamble some more.
And I know we talked about this. I mean, at this point now, it's been I don't know how many episodes ago. The best show or concert you have ever been to, I know we talked about mine was Dashboard, but what is your favorite show and what makes a show like so memorable?
I got a couple different answers.
Yeah.
There's ones that hit well musically, but I have a couple shows that were more like shows that were actually entertaining. One I did see before. I guess I don't think he does this anymore. Roger Waters came back and did The Wall. It's in its entirety. That was a wild show. Like the performance was a whole experience. That one was amazing. That one sticks with me. Another one, these guys put on a banger of a show probably every single time, and it's just so weird. I don't know any of the lyrics. 5 lyrics. Rammstein. They put on a wild, crazy show. That's the whole thing. Also, performance. Most of the concerts that I go to, I always leave saying that was an awesome concert. None of them really stand out to me except for like performances like that, because usually the bands that I'm seeing, I really enjoy their music.
Well, and I feel like that's 9 times out of 10 when you go to a show, you're going to see a band that you enjoy, right?
If I had to pick one, I'd say the Foo Fighters, though. Foo Fighters just kind of
always put on a good show. Yeah, I feel like that's how it is for me with like the 1975. Like I know they're going to be good, and it always is. But I love the unexpected, and we've talked about like opening bands that are like super awesome. I know years and years. I mean, I think like 2009, Jenna got me tickets to see Scary Kids, Scaring Kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the opening band, The Sleeping, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, and they were so fucking awesome.
Really?
It was like I never really listened to them, and then I saw them live, and it was like, this is so good.
You took him home. You took him home with you. And
I
listened
took
to
them home with me, and then I listened to them, for years after. And then, like, of course, Scary Kids came on, and they were awesome. But The Sleeping, and I think that's what I always enjoy. I know another one we saw, Chiodos, at the Troc in Philly, like probably 10, 12 years ago, whatever. And they were touring with Set It Off. And I never heard Set It Off, and I'm sure Set It Off, they're always on like the Pop Goes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
I know
right?
them then. I know them
Or
then.
Punk Goes Pop.
Yes.
And dude, they were so fucking good. And it was one of the things where, like, after they played, the bassist came out and was like, "Hey, I'm selling." Like, he was hustling their EPs. He was like,
Wow.
$5, and I think I still have it somewhere where I have all my CDs.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, man. And, like, I never saw him again, but it was one of those things where, like, that was cool. But for me, Dashboard was, I think, my favorite show. And just because what we talked about, like, the whole crowd was into it. It was just, and you know what I really liked? It was just four dudes playing music. There wasn't really a show. I feel like you go to most concerts, there's now there's a 5-minute like intermission of like soundscapes, and they're
that's
going
cool.
to the yeah. And
While they
like
go piss.
yeah. But it was just music, and then, hey, we're not doing the whole encore song and dance. Like, this is our set, and I appreciate now that bands are like, this is the set. There is no one more song.
You can usually tell when they've played the very last song is the best song. Like if the Foo Fighters go off and they haven't played Everlong yet,
sure,
guess what? They're coming back for an encore.
An
I've even seen
encore.
in shows that they've recorded a little something of them like backstage. I know it was a recording because I think I've seen it before, or they've done it twice, where they were like, "Hey, it sounds like they really want us back."
Should we go out there?
Play all coy, but they're really just back there, like getting water or whatever.
Getting
I
water,
don't know
taking
what
a
they're
piss.
doing.
Well, the 1975, they're
How
like,
shitty?
hey,
Wait, how shitty would it be if they were like ready to come back out and everybody just started to leave?
they turn the lights on. Well, and that's a big indication. The lights turn on.
Yeah.
The lights don't turn back on to then turn back off.
You think you could spur the crowd to get them to come back out again if you chanted hard enough and long enough? Maybe not for a big band like that, but
also, like, you can't encore. Like, say the co-headliner is Fire. They can't encore,
No, they
right?
can't.
Even
No,
if
they
the crowd
can't.
chants it, like, hey, you're on a time limit, and guess who has unlimited time? The headliner. No one else does. But we went to when we saw the 1975, and the show ended, and this individual came. She was like sitting right next to us, and she was crying at the end of the show, and she's like, "It's 2023. How are they not going to do an encore?" Yeah, right. I know. And it's like, dude, like,
as if the year is some indication on the frequency of encores.
The year is indicative of if you have to do an encore or not,
Come on, it's 2023. I think we know what an encore is. 19.
And I'm not opposed to big concerts, but there is just something about the small, and we were talking to Dave about this, those small intimate shows where you get to actually like meet the band and you're singing along with them. I remember seeing In Fear and Faith at the Grange, and like I was like up front, and I was like, you could just feel the connection, like the music is just awesome. And so like I miss the small intimate shows. I really do.
I've only been front row for one show ever, and I'm actually kind of proud about this. It was one of Dave Grohl's supergroups, them Crooked Vultures.
Oh, okay.
They came to Philly. It was at the Electric Factory.
Yeah.
So John Paul Jones on keyboard, Josh Homme. Is that how you say his name? Homme?
From Queens of the Stone Age.
He was vocals, probably just vocals and guitar, maybe.
Yeah, he plays guitar.
And Grohl on drums. And this was right before their only album had ever come out. Nobody knew any words, but I was front row, and I felt like I was like right there.
You were
like
you. Well,
I
and
was.
you were.
I was. Yeah,
you were.
yeah.
And so that experience, I think, kind of makes the whole show. And now I'm too old for that. Like I can't get to the front because you're trapped. And like I'm always like, well, if something happens to me, I'm going to die right here. No one's going to. I'm not fighting for and especially too, like some of these shows you have to get there like 10, 11, 12 hours in advance. Motherfuckers are camping out for shows just to be at the front of the pit.
Miserable.
I want a seat. I want to sit down, and I'll stand. Once the band comes on. But
I love going to Camden and just sitting on the lawn. I'm just there for the music.
Well, where are we seeing Green Day?
The where the Phillies play,
Citizens Bank.
Yeah, Citizens Bank Park. So
I've never been to a concert there for a show. Me neither.
I have never been there for a concert, or Lincoln Financial Field where the Eagles play. Me neither. I've never been to either of those for a concert.
Well, and the Link is. You're seeing which one's bigger?
What do you mean? Oh,
like of the two
out of the stadiums, I think the Link.
Because so that's where like U2 is playing and Taylor Swift. Like they're playing there. They're not playing the Wells Fargo Center. They're playing there because
Taylor Swift is playing like 3 or 4 shows at the Link.
In a row at the
and
Link.
She's
all sold out.
And she's selling $5,000 tickets.
All of them are selling out. They're selling out instantly.
4 nights. God damn.
And apparently, I hear Taylor Swift, man, she puts out, like, apparently her shows are fucking fire.
I thought you were saying that she just puts out.
No. I hear that her shows
like, oh, how'd you know?
I hear that her shows are really good.
Okay.
But, I mean, I probably would never go because I don't want to pay.
I couldn't afford it.
1,000. Yeah, right. Yeah. Take out a second mortgage.
Swiftie, I am not.
No, but I respect what she's done for like the music industry as a whole, man. I mean, Taylor Swift will 100% be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame after that 20-year mark hits from her first album.
Yeah, I mean she's gigantic.
But you know what else today is? And the reason I say this is because I still see you sitting in your chair. It is Prime Day.
This thing fucking sucks. I'm so sore sitting in this thing.
We ordered new chairs.
Mm-hmm. We sure did. What was the brand? Do you remember?
Versetio? Vercetti?
The Vercetti brothers. It's an Italian restaurant, but they also make chairs.
Sure.
Let me see. I'm going to pull it up.
So one of the biggest things that Eric and I wanted, we needed new chairs. It was just you more so than I, but I also needed one.
Sure.
And so we splurged. I don't even want to say splurged. They weren't ridiculously priced.
Yo, I'm fucking hot about chairs, like office chairs and gaming chairs. So this thing, I can't fucking tell what brand it is. Oh, here we go. Vinsetto Racing Gaming Chair.
That's what we said, right?
You'll everybody will see it next week. I'll be like, hey.
Well, if it comes. So apparently, though, the boxes. So that's the one thing I hate about Amazon deliveries. The something like that's shipped through a third party. Sometimes you get those boxes and like pieces are just sticking out. Like, have you ever gotten a package from Amazon that was so fucked before that it's like, yo, I can't even do anything with this?
If it is, I'll just get my money back.
And Amazon, they are so good for giving you your money. Sometimes they give you your money back and you don't even ask.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, this package wasn't delivered. And they're like, here's your money back and another one.
So I had this happen to me a couple weeks ago, and I feel almost guilty about having the feedback for the delivery driver like this. And fortunately, I wasn't inside my home, but they left the package propped up against my front door, like so that if I was inside, when I opened it, I would have knocked it over. So,
why did they do that?
I don't know, but it was absolutely like blocking my entrance to my house. It was leaned up against it,
which also seems kind of like a fire hazard.
Sure.
What if it was
like big
really
enough?
heavy and you're just,
you
know?
But I felt bad about giving them bad feedback about it, but because it didn't ask me specifically what was wrong with it. I couldn't write in there, package leaned against door, couldn't get out of home or anything like that. It was just like, they fucked up my delivery.
But like Amazon's so weird though. I ordered a guitar, like a multi-effects processor, and it was expensive. It was like $500, and it was supposed to I got it delivered with with something else, and the other thing wasn't included. So I was like, hey, I was missing a part of my package. It was like a $10 thing. And they said, oh, okay, cool, we'll send another one. And they sent another pedal. And
Wow.
I think I tried to like refund it, but then they were like, no. But now every time I place an order over like $100, I have to give a verbal code. They
To the
like think
delivery
that I'm like
driver.
hustling, like, and it wasn't even like that. Like I was literally like, I just want the $10 thing I paid for it. I have the other thing; it's right here.
Because you got a free
But
pedal.
also, I don't really hate if I buy something expensive, having to get it, like have them hand it to me.
Sure.
Especially if it's a couple $100. Like I don't worry about my packages walking out, but people do fucking steal packages from porches. Like that's a thing, no matter where you are.
It's a shame.
I got into it though today. My beef with today. So early June, I went to the eye doctors, right?
Okay.
And so I checked my insurance and it said this place was in network. So and then I called them and they
Set
ran
up an
it through.
appointment.
Yep. I called 'em.
2:30
It was at 2:30 for my
for the dentist.
for my dentist. So I set up an appointment and so I go in, they do the exam, and then I go to check out and I said, "What kind of glasses can I get? You know, like what does my?" And she was like, "You know what? We build your like you're not covered here." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" She was like, "We ran it through wrong. Like your insurance, we don't accept Davis insurance." And I was like, "Okay, then I won't get my glasses here." She's like, "But it was on us, so we won't charge you for the visit." I said, "Okay, that's fair." She's like, "You'll have to pay." I did the picture of my eyeballs. That's always $29. So she's like, "You'll have to pay us for that." Cool,
Whatever.
$29.
Yeah.
So today I get a bill for $50. And so she said, if you get a bill, call us and we'll handle it. So I called up billing and left a message. She called me back today. She's like, yeah, so how would you like to pay? I was like, oh, I'm not. I was like, here's what happened. She was like, no. She's like, let me call you back. Let me talk to somebody and call you back. So she calls me back and she's like, well, your vision insurance wasn't accepted. So we billed it to your health insurance. And they're saying you have a $50 copay. And I was like, well, why should I pay this when this was kind of on your end? I
Yeah.
wouldn't have gone here if I didn't check and it said in network and
100%.
then you said it was in network. If I was going to pay $50, it's only like $10 to go to the eye doctors, and it's just the principle of the thing at this point, right?
I wouldn't have gone. Well, yeah, exactly. You wouldn't have gone if they had said that. I wouldn't pay for vision insurance. Period. Anyway, so you
for
already
50
pay for it.
Well, right. So I'm not going to pay for $50. Like I wouldn't go there if you were out of network. I just would have gone to someone that was in network. Like it's not that big of a deal.
This conversation is just going to give me cancer. I fucking hate insurance stuff.
So then I get even more frustrated. So I call the office, like the Middletown office, and I told them what happened. She was like, "Oh yeah, I remember. Let me talk to the office manager. I'll call you back." She calls me back. And she's like, "Yeah, that's your copay. You're on the hook for it." And I'm like, I'm not paying that because
I didn't get shit. I didn't get my glasses like I wanted to get.
I didn't get my glasses, but also it's on you. You fucked me. So why should I have to pay? You billed my eye visit through my health insurance. So
Wait, can they do that?
I don't know. Evidently,
Okay,
so I
well
pulled
then
it
hold
up
on.
and
Then why the fuck would I bother paying for vision insurance if they
Well,
could just bill my regular insurance?
I don't know. None of it made sense to me. I thought they only went through health insurance if it was like surgery based. Like, hey, you have to get like a cataract surgery or like glaucoma or whatever. You know.
You know what you should have said? You should have said, "I can't see myself paying this bill."
And then
Get
hung
them,
up.
fucking get them.
So that's like, but health insurance as a whole and just like healthcare in America is so fucking wild to me.
Weird.
Well, you pay all this money every paycheck, and then look, if it
You
was
still have to pay money when you go.
still have to pay money, and hey, look,
And
if it
sometimes
was
you're still
something,
even billed for because they don't pay it at all.
but if I went to like the hospital, then I would, sure, yeah, right on. Like I went, but I'm just really salty that I have to pay $50 because you fucked up after running my insurance and telling me it was fine and that I was good to go. And you know, so now I'm on the hook for $50. So it's just the principle of the thing. Healthcare, biggest fucking scam.
Now I got an idea. All right.
Go on.
People like me, I don't
Yep.
use my health insurance hardly at all. Right?
Sure.
They make money off of me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm sure that there's people that go other ways. I feel like I should be able to redeem some health insurance in the form of something not recreational, but like, it's not necessary.
Like a Wendy's coupon.
No, like a health. Let me go and get like elbow implants or something. I don't
Sure.
know. Something dumb. What would it be though? Would you get a rhinoplasty? Is that plastic surgery? It's like the face redone.
Dude, the face redone too, like that surgery just always looks, you can tell when someone had face work done.
It always looks bad.
They always just look happy.
Or like,
Yeah. And but the people that love plastic surgery, they're like, "Oh my God, you look so good." And I feel like 9 times out of 10, that individual looked much better before they had that surgery. You know,
they just look old. I get Shay yells at me. Not yells at me. She doesn't yell at me. But when I do this, I have such clear headlines.
Yeah.
It's gonna stay like that. Like those lines will be. Oh, you can still kind of see them right now.
they're
Anyway.
printed.
She wants to get what's it called, Botox, a little bit, just a little bit right here. And I was originally saying
Like she wants to get it for you or her?
for her.
Oh,
She doesn't care. She doesn't give a fuck about my boat. I don't.
Yeah.
But I was originally like, that's plastic surgery. I was like, that's like a procedure that you're gonna get. And but I've heard it's not that actually invasive or like hurtful. Like it actually,
I think
isn't like a negative thing if it's reasonable.
done. If you don't go to like the real shady shop, the problem is like I don't want to get injected with botulism, right? And that's essentially what it is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Take it with a grain of salt. Like that's just but I'm pretty sure it's a derivative of that. But
Okay.
I have heard it's really good for migraines. Like I get migraines a lot, but I still don't want to get Botox. But
You
apparently
try
good
it.
for.
Why not try it? Just get a little dose.
Nah, I'm good. They make pills I can take for that. You know.
True. Speaking of pills, guess what I just started taking the other day?
Go
I
on.
fucking went up in my cabinet, and I've been on my little health kick as of late, sort of off and on. But daily vitamins, daily multivitamins.
Yeah.
I had a bowl of ramen for dinner last night because
All right.
I was feeling lazy.
Like the packet.
One of the
Or the bowls.
hard bowl with a bowl with the spicy packet.
Fill it
damn,
with
that shit's
water
so
up to the
fucking
fill
good.
line. Oh.
4 minutes in the microwave, adding the powder pack, adding the spicy sauce. But I had and I followed that up with one of those daily multivitamins. And sometimes I remember taking the daily multivitamin without food, and it
that'll
makes my
hurt your
stomach
tummy.
hurt.
Yeah.
It definitely makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah.
But this time, so I followed the ramen with the multivitamin. I had the bubble guts like
Did
no
you?
fucking other. I was watching The Boys last night,
Okay.
and like the volume was up kind of loud in bed.
Yeah.
And Shay turned around, like she rolled over and looked at me like, "Was that your stomach?" And you could hear it over the TV, like over like action sequences. It was fucking loud, and it felt uncomfortable. Like I was gonna shit the bed.
Should you have gone with? Should you go multivitamin and then ramen? Should ramen be the proverbial water back? Is that?
I think that you have to have a stomach full of food and then go multivitamin, right?
Do you swallow? Is it the pill or the gummies?
It's the fucking big fat pill. It's like
See, you got to go with the gummies because they taste real good and they
it's
make
like
them sour.
that. It's like that fucking big.
The girthy boy.
But then I'm thinking, like, also, I don't really know that much about vitamins. I need to, if we can get, I know we've just been fucking slinging, like, who we should get on this show. I would like to talk to somebody about, supplements.
Okay,
and,
so it's really funny that you say that. I need to, so there has been an individual, and he has been liking all of our stories, and
Okay.
he is a doctor that deals with specifically that weight loss and diets and dietary things. Let's reach out to him. So if you're listening to this, I have to pull it up and get his exact name. I don't want to say it wrong, but yeah, it's super funny that you say that because someone has been.
I'm in.
Yes,
Yeah, please.
yeah.
Please. I want to
So
hear
I think
about
it's a
it.
sign.
Let's do
The
it.
universe is telling us. So
He's coming on.
we will reach out to him. We will reach out to
good.
him.
Okay, good. Because
Yeah,
I
look at that.
hear things, and I'm like, oh, magnesium and fish oil and blah 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 blah. But I'd like to have like to have the real answer.
Beautiful.
But I am also worried of what's that stuff? Snake oil salesmen.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't want to be sold some bullshit.
You'll live for 150 years.
I want like the science based like reasons why this is a good thing to take, and like and I want them to tell you, don't take this thing. It's not good. Blah 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 blah. That's what I want. Hype. All right. Good.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what we're doing. Did I tell you? Speaking of just kind of like annoying things, I
speaking of annoying things, it's a
I
lot.
sold my old Mac today. My iMac.
Okay.
And it's older. It is. I got it when I was in grad school, so it's almost 10 years old, right?
Okay.
So you can't update it. We had to stop using it months and months ago
right.
for
That's the
our
one,
recording.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
it was the bed
really
while we were producing the early episodes of this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. So it definitely wouldn't be able to hang now. It was having a difficult time then. But anyway, so I listed it on the marketplace for a couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
This individual was trying to negotiate the price down. I met her in the middle. Whatever, cool. I said, I'll meet you, at a Wawa. She's like,
haggling.
a little haggling. And I knew kind of what it was worth, so I was whatever. But she was like, I'll meet you at the Wawa, And she was, I don't, if I'm selling something, I don't like to meet people at my house, right?
No, you should not.
Right. So I said, I will meet you. Yeah. I will meet you at Wawa. So she was like, okay, cool. I'll be there 25 minutes. And I was like, great. And she's like, is your desk for sale? And I was like, my desk. So I think she was talking about that. And so I was,
is that where you took the picture?
Well, I took a picture of it and I sent it to her. I was like, this? And then she said, no, I'll pass. And I was like, it's not for sale.
Wait, in the same vein, what you're talking about, have you ever seen if you go onto like Facebook Marketplace and try to find mirrors?
Oh God, the mirror shots are so
good. And it's a bunch of like boomers like taking pictures of themselves in the mirror, but it's the mirror is what they're selling. Post some to our Instagram so people can see what we're talking about. Fucking hilarious.
I love them, and but anyway, so we get there, and she was like, I load the laptop into the. Oh, I sent her a video first because she wanted to see it. She wanted to make sure that it worked.
Okay, right.
Turned it on, sent her a video. I was like kind of talking so she could tell it was like right now, So I meet her there. I bring it. I load it into her car, and she's like, "Well, where's the keyboard?" And I was like, "The ad was not for a keyboard. It was for the iMac, late 2014, with trackpad only." And she was like, I didn't read that. And I was like, I was kind of annoyed at that point.
She was about to hit you with the, how am I supposed to eat my pizza without a diet Dr. Kelp? She was about to fucking give it back to you.
I ain't buying. So I was like, all right, you know what? Keep $10 and go buy yourself a wired keyboard. Like, it doesn't have to be an Apple specific.
No, it's just a keyboard.
Just get a fucking keyboard. But it's shit like that. Like, I was already giving her a fair price.
Yeah.
And then so have you ever had someone buy something from you and you have it listed or you're going to sell it for a really fair price, and when you go to sell it, they're like, well, actually, this is what I want, or this is what I can offer you, or sorry, I have less money.
Fucking hate it. I sold a car. So I was on my way. Where was I going? I was going on a trip, like a vacation. Was I going to Vegas? I might have been going to fucking Vegas. And I was like, awesome. The sale of this car will be my gambling cash.
Sure.
And it's actually an acquaintance. I'm not saying this person's a bad person. I don't want to talk shit.
Honda?
It was my Honda.
Okay.
And honestly, it was kind of a piece of crap. The story about that Honda was I bought, you know what? It was good timing. I think Silas was born. Sure. And like Shay said, you can't drive Silas around in the Honda. It's not safe enough, which it is. But she's bougie, so
it was older.
But I had gotten a flat tire, so instead of replacing the tire, I just got a whole new car.
Sure, sometimes cheaper.
And I got my Jeep Compass, which I liked that car. That car was fine, but it wasn't anything special at all.
It got you from A to B.
but the Honda sat in my driveway because like so when I bought the Jeep, I showed them that and they were like, I was like, oh, can I trade it in? And they were like, best you don't.
Hell
Like
no.
they just didn't want that car at all.
You can pay us to take it from you.
Yeah, that's kind of what they were inferring.
Yeah.
So I was kind of salty about that, but so it just sat in my driveway for a while until I sold it to somebody. We wrote up a contract. And I said, I'm selling it as is. You know, it drove fine. It just needs a new tire. I might have even put the donut on or got a new tire. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
But I hadn't started it up in a while, like a while. So they come over, and I wasn't even thinking about that as like a thing that could go wrong with it. So they signed the contract, and he was like, hey. Before they signed the contract, he was like, hey, I know we agreed on, I don't know how much it was. It's just call it $2,000. He said, I know we agreed on $2,000, but all I have is $1,600. Me, I'm going to Vegas like in 2 days from now, and I'm not going to say no deal and then just like not have gambling cash.
Yeah, right.
But also I was fucking pissed. It's just like, oh, what do you leave me with? Like,
right.
An agreement is an agreement.
An agreement is an agreement, and I think that's done. It's fully like intentional.
Yes.
You know, like that. Like I know what I'm doing.
It's a trick.
And
That's a trick that people will use.
It's a trick. I'm going to put you into an uncomfortable situation, and I hope that you bite. Which in your case, you did. I mean, and so did I today.
Got cucked. We both got cucked.
We got cucked. And but wait, did the car end up? Did you end up selling the car?
so we got the car. Yeah. So here's karma biting him in the ass, and I would have felt way worse if he had paid me what we had agreed upon.
Yeah.
He gets probably a half mile down the road, like far enough that he's not going to walk back.
Yeah.
And it fucking broke down.
What did the fucking battery just die, or
it was something? It was something dumb. Like it was an old car too. It wasn't cream of the crop.
Did he want his money back?
No, he didn't say anything about it. Probably because I wouldn't have given him shit because I was unhappy that he cucked me out of the cash.
Once that.
And
look,
then the contract was signed. He knew it wasn't a great car. That's so tough. It's tough, like getting a beater car to have if you don't have a lot of money. It really is tough to keep up on one of those.
But even so you always hear, right? Like car payments suck. They do. But I went and I bought a shitty fucking car to try to save money, and the car payment was like $150 a month. And do you remember the fucking engine exploded? Like the tires almost fell off that Nissan. I had that Nissan Rogue. Do you remember that thing?
Yes.
And that thing was like, it was rough.
I think I drove it. Did I drive it one time when you were living with us?
It was not, and that was when CarMax, and I don't know if they're still doing it, but they were buying everything during the pandemic, right? So people were just trading shit in, and they were overpaying by $5,000-$10,000. I don't know if they're still doing that, but I went in. I said, "Yeah, let me get the 2013 Nissan Rogue with 110,000 miles on it." And I'm glad I bought the extended warranty because
it saved you.
If not, I would still be. I don't have that car anymore, but I would still be paying for the engine. Like I would still be paying for that car and not have it.
Ew.
Because I wouldn't put a new engine in. You know, if I had to pay for it. It was covered. But yeah, like I just feel like people they're so entitled when it comes to buying things. Or I sold my PlayStation 5 and I mean, it was just sitting here collecting dust, and the dude was cool, but he was like, I'm $20 short. And same thing. It's like, listen, man, like we had an agreement.
You should have said, no, you're one PlayStation 5 short.
Yep. Thanks. You know, and
so
it's
annoying.
like, I sold it to him because like, it was sitting, you know, I haven't played it in forever. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you have an agreement, if you have a deal, honor the deal, right? I mean, it's not rocket science, but some people are just, what is that group?
On Reddit, my fucking favorite, choosing beggars on Reddit.
Yep.
It's just the absolutely most ridiculous people saying like, you won't reduce the price by 80%. You're gonna ruin my son's Christmas.
Fact, I hope you can come and tell him that his Christmas, like Santa's not coming now.
Fucking stupid. What do you mean I have to come pick it up? I thought you were going to deliver it for 80% off.
Did you see the one where they were like, hey, to make it worth my while, will you throw something else in? They're like, it's free. You know, like you're picking it up for free. You're getting like, and a lot of times it's really good stuff, but people are like, well, could you actually do, I like the ones where they're like, hey, okay, I'm selling a car for 10,000. Well, would you take 2? Sure. Here's my address, and they give him the address to like a comedy club. And they're like, hey, well, why don't you go tell your jokes there? They're like, man, fuck you.
That's really good.
Do you remember I had I was selling a Switch. The handheld the Switch lights.
Yeah. Okay.
And
The
I was
one
selling
that
it for
doesn't dock to the
the one
TV.
that doesn't dock. It's a handheld. It's a fucking Game Boy.
It's like a Game Boy. Yeah.
And do you remember I sold it to that guy, and he was like, "I'll give you 150 for it." I was like, "It's 250 or whatever." I was selling it at cost, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then he called me he called me something. I can't remember what he called me. I have that text message. I need to see if I can fucking find it. But yeah, same thing. And it's like, dude, like, what the fuck, man? You know, don't lowball somebody and then
get mad at them.
Yes, right. If you're going to lowball somebody, fine, but you can't be mad at them for saying
Just
no.
accept that they're probably going to say no to you.
They're going to say no, or they're not going to fucking respond.
That makes me have like, that's where the faith in humanity drops for me.
Yep.
I can't believe that people like that exist. Like, I could never imagine behaving like that.
And they do exist.
To another human fucking being.
Yeah.
They do exist. I hate it. I don't even want to think about it.
It's frustrating. Well, I don't want to get you frustrated.
You know who I do want to talk about?
Go on.
It's the guy that came into work the other day and called you his Eskimo brother because you guys used to work together.
I forgot about that. Okay. All right. So, for those of you who are listening, an Eskimo brother would be like if Eric and I slept with the same person.
Mm-hmm.
That would make us Eskimo brothers, or your Eskimo sisters if you've slept with the same.
2 women that have slept with the same man.
Yes. So I get this call, and
a work call, by the way.
A work call on my work, this was to my work number, and he left this on my work answering machine, and he said, "Hey, it's so-and-so, your old Eskimo brother." And I was like, I think I told you, and you're like, "No, he didn't actually say that." And I was like, "Oh no,
yeah, absolutely,
he did twice.
Did you?
He called 2 different times.
Did you? So when he said that first, did you go like,
yeah,
going through? You're like, no.
Well, and then
he
I
didn't
think
fuck her.
He has to know what that is, or maybe not. Like super socially awkward. But yeah, hey, it's your old Eskimo brother. So don't fucking call people that, especially on I would never call you on your work number and be like, yo, it's your old Eskimo brother.
You know,
but
what?
Also we aren't Eskimo brothers.
Right.
Him and I,
not at all.
You know,
but you guys did used to work together.
No,
but not Eskimo
I
brothers.
left a place and then he came in right after I left.
Do you know any of your Eskimo brothers? Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking
Would you
right
ever
now.
refer you and me? Yeah, we're
right.
Eskimo brothers.
Yeah. Would I refer to them as such? No. Because I don't think I'm not cool with any of them in that regard, you know?
That's fair. Yeah.
Right? So I think
that's how, but if you were by accident and it
sure,
turns out
it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know, that is
yeah.
funny. But you just randomly call it, hey, it's your old Eskimo brother.
You got
Dude.
Are you going to tell him eventually? Or are you just going to let him continue to call?
I'm going to let him continue to call. But the thing is, like,
he's going to call the
better
wrong
make sure you don't
motherfucker
call
an Eskimo brother.
don't call the wrong person an Eskimo brother, because that's an easy way to get fucking fired.
But also, does that kind of make us worse people for knowing what an Eskimo brother is?
No, it's not our place. You're an adult. You should know. Look, if you're an adult and you don't know what an Eskimo brother or sister is, you know, that's on you.
Mm-hmm. You know what just fucking happened to me just right now? Has this ever happened to you where you, like, it was probably while I leaned back, my fucking throat cord or something, overlapped another one?
Well, you better
my
save
God,
that because
fucking hurts.
We have all those interviews coming up, so you better
Fuck.
save that throat.
God, it hurts when I swallow. All right. Sorry, go ahead. Go on.
Okay, no. Okay. But yeah, other than that, don't call people an Eskimo brother. Healthcare is fucking a scam.
And stay hydrated in this fucking heat.
Stay hydrated, and kudos to Danny Go.
That's right.
My little Danny Go plushie for putting on such a badass show. I'm Greg.
And I'm Eric.
And thank you for listening. We are the Daddies.